All right, get on in here, guys. It's really the bestie attorney Simone, and I am live from the Diddy trial. Yes, I am actually on the train. I'm on the Amtrak, y'all, because I got to go back to DC. I got to find me a husband there, but I also have work to do. So there's that, y'all. I am fresh out the nightclub. Listen, this is where I was in the Congressional Black Caucus last night. One, two, three. I got three VIP wristbands, and tonight I'm going for more. But right now, I'm giving you a recap of Diddy's trial. So literally, I took the train this morning from DC back to New York to be at the hearing. I'm just gonna start from the top. Okay. So in the end, we're gonna start from the top. Now, mind you, today's hearing was all about him trying to have dismissed the hookers. Okay, okay. He was found innocent of everything except for messing with the hookers being Jane and KSC. So we'll get to that. But I just have to say, we need to have a moment of silence. If I could give an award, if I could give a Grammy to like the best hair, it would be Nicole Westmoreland, Diddy's attorney, Nicole Westmoreland. Okay. Her hair needs a moment of silence. It was so cute. Let me tell you, Westmoreland came in. Remember, that's the black female attorney that he has. She came in there with a whole bust down. I think that's what they call it, y'all. When she has like, it wasn't a wig, it was extensions that went all the way to her bottom. But she didn't look like a stripper. She literally, she looked like a lawyer. She actually looked like a lawyer. Thank you. So let me just say, she looked great. She was all the way from, but it was like, it was this bust down. Y'all, as you're coming in, as you're joining, I just have to give you the backstory so I can give you the facts. Okay. Okay. So and I'm on the Amtrak. So if it's a little wiggle wiggle, just, I don't know, close your eyes and listen to my voice. So she comes in there, she's got the bust down to the waist. I mean, she looks amazing. Clearly, Diddy's checks have been cashed. Now, she didn't look bad before. She looked regular. Now she looks like a rich man's mistress. Okay, she looked fantastic. She looked amazing. And then there was also Xavier Donaldson. He's the black attorney. He's like 6'5". He was there. Now I think he might have been wearing a tie from Burlington Coat Factory because I got to be fair. I got to talk about everybody. Hey, look, because I'm going to describe the lawyers and then we're going to go into the facts. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe. I will give you legal commentary, but I'm also going to give you my ignorant opinions too, because just so you can feel like you were there. Okay. So Xavier Donaldson, one of Diddy's attorneys, the 6'5" chocolate one, looks like a little milk dud, very handsome. I'm pretty sure he's wearing a Burlington Coat Factory tie. I think we gave one to my father when I was in the seventh grade. So we've got that. Then we've got, I think it was Teeny Garagos, who's very pregnant and cute. Mark Agnifilo, he looked very rich, looked like a Republican who doesn't pay his taxes, but it's okay because he's friends with Mr. T. You know what I'm talking about? And then we also had Alexandria Shapiro. Okay. Now she took the lead. She did all the arguing for Diddy's side. And the thing about Alexandria, now to describe Alexandria, she's she's probably about 52. She looks about 79. She looks like a downtrodden lesbian, but she's not. She's not. She has a husband. And he too he's the other Shapiro. I forget. He's very think downtrodden lesbian. Google a photo, then come back to the chat and go ahead and tell me about how right I am. You'll get it. All right. So those are oops. There you go. So those are the attorneys and what they look like, in case you care. And then there was a six pack of white women, as Mark Garagos refers to them, TMZ. They're actually a six pack of it's a 5 pack of white ladies now, honey. It's just five of them because remember Maureen Coney, she got fired illegally for being James Comey's daughter, which there's another story about that because James Comey, former FBI director, he's about to be indicted. That's another story for another live. Ooh, we just need a little moment. It's jiggle jaggling. I'm on the Amtrak. All right. Fast forward, that's what everybody looked like. The other side, the prosecution's side, their backs were to us the whole time. Now, Diddy, oh, I'm gonna leave Diddy for the end. I'm gonna talk about the kids that were in there. All the kids were there. And all the living baby mamas were there too. Ooh, the baby mamas look really good. I have to tell you, Sarah Chapman, she looked pretty, but I haven't forgiven her yet. Have y'all forgiven Sarah Chapman? Sarah Chapman is the mama to the twin named Chance because Sarah Chapman used to be besties with, Sarah Chapman used to be besties with Kim Porter. That's why I just don't like her. And so she basically was doing it to her friend's baby daddy, knowing that was her baby daddy, knowing he was still paying her bills and such, and then went and got pregnant and kept the baby. And they'll dance and keep the baby. And now the baby's alive. That's the daughter chance. I just don't know if I haven't forgiven Sarah. I want to. Did y'all forgive Sarah? Y'all let me know. So Sarah Chapman was sitting next to Misa Hilton, Justin's mama. Now the twin girls were there. They looked so sweet and innocent. They had their natural hair. They look like teen, beautiful teen girls that were smart. And the lawyer said, "Take that weave out of there." Because with the weave, you look like a grown woman. You need to be in there. You look like an adolescent who needs a pappy. Okay, needs her daddy to be free. So they did that. Then, as my buddy Mims calls him, the slow one, Christian. The slow one was there with his girlfriend Raven with the big old booty. You saw her booty enter the courtroom. You saw it before you saw the rest of her. Her bottom was there. She was wearing what looked like it was supposed to be a suit. It was brown and it was very pretty, but it was cropped. So she had her tummy out in federal courthouse. I said, nobody has their tummy out in the federal courthouse unless, are you one of the hookers? Are you one of the hookers? You're not one of the hookers. Cover up your stomach. Cover up that tummy. Mm-mm. Ooh, Ruby says, yep. Sarah's daughter Chance is only 5 months. Y'all hit that like as you come on in here. Yeah, and hit the subscribe again in case whatever. So you get all the alerts. All right. So the slow one's girlfriend Raven was there showing her belly. Looking like a hooker, although she is not one of the hookers technically. I'm gonna have to add an allegedly to any hooking you might accuse that one of. And then we got those. We got those are the girls. We've got Justin. Justin was in there. He's good looking. Justin looked like a Creole boy that went to St. Aug, whose daddy was probably a drug dealer, but no one knew because he paid his tuition on time and later got into Morehouse, flunked out of Morehouse. But boy, is he good looking. That's what Justin Combs looked like. If you know about New Orleans or St. Aug, just Google it. St. Aug is the only historically black all boys school left in America. And boy, are their graduates handsome. If you know, you know. We're gonna move along now. All right. So now I'm gonna start with the hearing and what went down. Okay. So one of the things that was funny is that when the defense team was introducing themselves. Oh yeah, Quincy was there. Sorry. Quincy was there, and Quincy, I made a note. Quincy looked like someone that August Alsina would date. I am so sorry, y'all, that this is bumpy. Just close your eyes if you need to. Quincy looked like somebody August Alsina would date. If you know, you know. Google August Alsina. August Alsina was the guy that got turned out by Jada Pinkett Smith, and now he's gay. Now he thinks he's gay. Jada Pinkett Smith, boy, she'll be running through them. I don't know what she'd be doing to them in their bottom holes, but they don't come back from that. Boop. Mm. Yeah, so that's Quincy. Quincy's a good looking boy. Everybody like Quincy. Girls like Quincy. Boys like Quincy. One day I saw Quincy in the cafeteria and he had the prettiest purse. Honey, it was a Bottega Veneta, however you call that thing. I don't even know how to pronounce it because I'm too poor. He had that on and boy, let me put these. I was envious. I said, Quincy, you are a pretty man. I want to look like you when I grow up. All right, so going to the courthouse, hearing starts, and uh, Diddy's defense team, Alex Shapiro, the one who looks like a downtrodden lesbian, she introduced herself to everyone. Oh, she introduced the team, and it was so cute. She meant to say Teeny Garagos, that is Mark Garagos' daughter, but she called her, but she said, and next we have Mark Garagos. We all, and like, we kind of snickered in the courtroom, and I actually was in the courtroom today. We kind of snickered because remember on TMZ, Mark Garagos and Harvey, who owns TMZ, had gotten in. Mark Garagos got in trouble because he called the prosecution a six pack of white ladies, and it was attributed to Diddy's defense team. But Mark was like, "I'm not on the defense team. I'm just giving commentary, honey, sir." Now we know. If you know, you know. And you know what? That's good learning. As far as I'm concerned, you distance yourself, but you influence. You distance yourself, but you influence. So anyway, oh, Angela said, Quincy's purse collection is my dream. I'm with you. All right. So then last but not least, though, to describe Diddy. Oh boy. And this was right. Actually, Diddy, I do believe is having a tough time. Of course, it's prison. Even though he's got his little jailbird homeboys in there writing him letters of reference. We'll cover that later in a different video. Let me tell you something. He looked terrible. He looked like he was on the brink of death. He's not, praise the Lord. We don't want that for him. We don't want that for anybody. But his hair was all gray, salt and pepper and gray. He had no haircut. Before he had like this little box top, like kind of a rounded box top fro situation. He didn't even had that, honey. Oh, he didn't even have that. It was just like mush. Now, I don't know if part of it was to just look like, Judge, this is bad. You got to get him out of here, so that next week, in the event that they don't grant the motion to dismiss today, and this has to be retried. I'm sorry, if it's not granted in next week, he has to be sentenced. I think they wanted him to look as downtrodden as possible, and it worked. This was also, you guys, this was huge. This was the first time he appeared in court in his prison uniform. Okay, he had on his prison dickies, y'all. Oh yeah, it was his prison dickies, and they were like doodoo brown. It was real any color. It was just doodoo brown dickies. So if you ever noticed, if you knew somebody who wore dickies and house shoes back in the day when that was a thing in the '90s, no. But I do think what's good about Diddy is he has not had and will not have his finances for as long as he needs to stay. All right, now let's go into it. So the gist of it is the judge had already told each side, like, hey, I want to hear more about this argument and that argument, right? So basically with the judge, y'all, you're not gonna believe this. You're not gonna believe this. So basically, the defense was saying, hey, the Mann Act, you need to either set aside this verdict and acquit him, which can be done, or grant him a new trial. Let me explain why they want a new trial. They want a new trial because they know if he gets a new trial, it will only be on the prostitution charges. And they don't feel like this new little, remember, Marie Comey's gone. Y'all hit that like. We've got 477 in the chat. And when you have 100 likes, we need your help, please. That's how it gets suggested to other viewers and would make this back and forth trip I'm doing to cover this trial worthwhile. So basically, if a new trial is granted, it would only be on the hooker charge. If it's only on the hooker charge, they're probably not going to recharge him. He will walk away free, or he'll get a pardon because he'll only be charged with hookers. And he's already spent a year in prison for hookers, and a lot of people don't even spend that. So it's really brilliant, brilliant strategy. Is it true? His mother has been found not guilty. No, his mother was never charged. Oh, his mama was there too in her wig. Let me tell you, one person that needs to go to jail is that wig maker. Whoever made that wig and let that lady put that thing on her head. Miss Janice's wig. Let me tell you what that. So Miss Janice is a beautiful chocolate complexion. That wig is platinum. That wig is platinum and it's sitting up here and it was a bust out. That lady, okay, that grandmama had it to her bottom. It was a gold wig to her bottom. It looked like something you snatch it off her head and it was still fully deformed in the same shape. Like, it wouldn't do nothing different. It wouldn't do nothing different. That wig is evil. Can't nothing come from. Oh, no, I'm not on the subway. I'm on the Amtrak. Nothing good can come from a wig that do you like that. And I don't even think it was hair, y'all. I think it was synthetic. I think it was how they do that. Anyway, she was in there with just imagine an all girls gold synthetic butts out. I'm gonna find the press, a photo from the press, and I'm gonna post it, and you're gonna see what they have subjected that woman to. It was just wrong. Continuing on. All right, so basically there were two motions on the floor. One of them was challenging the jury instructions, which the prosecution says, too late. It's too late. If you were going to challenge those, you should have challenged them previously in the case. When you brought it up, it was too late. The judge didn't really seem to buy that argument because the judge seemed to feel that whenever they challenged the jury instructions, it was okay because they challenged it based on evidence presented. In other words, they couldn't have challenged it before the case ended due to the fact that they didn't know what was going to be presented. I like that argument, and I felt like that was fair. I am going to answer the question of whether or not I feel like he's going home soon. I'm going to answer that next. So basically, that argument, and then the second argument was basically the defense was trying to say, Your Honor, kick this out, dismiss it, because the Mann Act should only be used where someone is profiting, is making money from this. And y'all, Alexandria, okay, the married white lady, she's married to a man now. He looks like a downtrodden lesbian. got to get and told the judge, and Your Honor, quote, the Mann Act is an embarrassment to the United States of America, and this case should be dismissed as far as the conviction because it was based on the Mann Act. Yet it is an embarrassment to the United States. I don't take too much time. That's the embarrassment. All the things we got going on in this country, and that's the embarrassment. I mean, yes, it is racist and a bunch of other things. I get it. Oh, we got a question. Okay. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Ooh, thank you. Leslie A says, hey, sis, you doing what you do best from Seattle. Thank you for the super chat. I like that money, y'all. The more money I get, the less I have to sell my ass. Just kidding. Not quite. I can't put it up on the screen because I'm scared to touch things because I'm on my mobile device. So I don't really know. I'm scared that here we go. Then there's the second argument. Lean in and you got to hear this well. I am so sorry if I'm moving around too much and it's working your nerves. Here we go. You get to hear the second argument. The second argument is that this should be dismissed under Diddy's First Amendment free speech right. What is the free speech right? It is his right to watch live porn with the P. You know what I'm saying? It's YouTube. I can't say the word. Live porn. We've been talking about free speech, Jimmy Kimmel, and others. They are literally saying, hey, this was simply live porn, and Diddy was doing live porn. And the judge was like, basically, you got to be kidding me. The judge actually posed this analogy to Alex Shapiro, and I love it. The judge says, well, we got to look at the case law. In case law, there was a case where there was a businessman who went to a brothel with a client that he wanted to gain business from. If that businessman pays the brothel so that his client can have a little rendezvous with one of the hookers, is that prostitution? Everybody knows under the law, it's prostitution. You bought a hooker. Whether you bought the hooker for you or you bought the hooker for him, you bought a hooker. But Alex Shapiro, Diddy's lawyer, said, no, that's not prostitution. Y'all, it was at that moment, I believe, Diddy's team lost the motion. I think they lost the motion at that moment because they are working so hard to distance themselves from the facts in order to get the results they want. What happens is you lose credibility with the judge. Y'all, I know I'm silly, I'm goofy, I'm all of the things, but you have to remember I was still an Ivy League lawyer and I've been practicing for 18 years. So there's some stuff that I know. Anyway, so as a result, I think that's the moment that Diddy lost it. The judge said he was going to reserve and give comment later. Because of that, I also believe the answer is going to be no, no dismissal, and that we're going to have next week's sentencing hearing. And I'm going to talk about what I think that sentence is going to be next. Also, at the end of the hearing, the judge was like, okay, is there anything else that you want the court? He asked both sides, is there anything else you want the court to know about or to consider in preparation for next week's sentencing hearing? And then he caught himself and he was like, unless today's motion is awarded. Basically, he said it in this way. And so I was like, see, I knew you were going to say no. I knew you were going to say no. I knew you were going to say no. Because it hit that likes, y'all. We've got over 600 watching and we don't even have 300 likes. Please hit that like. So that's how I was like, there's trouble in River City here. If you're on the side and wanting Diddy to go home today, okay, there we go. You should see me now. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so the question, there was a great question. It said, hey, if a new trial is granted, what are the pros and cons for the government? None. Zero for the government. The government's going to lose. more than that, it's more than losing. I don't believe the government will bring this case back. The case is too expensive. Maureen Comey isn't there. We've got a new assistant U.S. attorney. They are not going to bring him back just for the hookers. When people who are usually charged with the hookers don't, they don't spend a year. He's already spent a year. He would be given credit, I believe, for that time, for the year he's already spent, even with the new trial. So there is no advantage for the government. It would only be bad for the government. So that's why the government is like, heck no, 2 to 3 years. And I know I'm breaking up. I'm so sorry, guys, but I think it's going to get around 2 to 3 years. Here's why. The judge is probably not going to want to give him time served simply due to the fact that he stood up there in court. Not he, his lawyer stood up there in court, said, "Hey, Your Honor, it's just a little domestic violence." Now, he was not convicted of, he was found not guilty specifically of the trafficking and of this, that, and the third. But the problem is this: when you admit to beating your prostitutes, you beat your hookers, when you whoop your hooker's tail and you whoop them up and down in the hallway and you would judge, of any sentence that can't be considered. But just overall, I think the judge is going to give him enough time where time served won't be it. Now, whether he gets 6 more months, he's going to get credit for 1 year. Whether he gets 6 more months or whether he gets 1 more year, I'm not sure. I'm thinking around the 3-ish year mark. 2 to 3 years is I'm thinking, well, actually 3-ish year mark is what I'm thinking. The government wants closer to 5. He ain't getting no 5. I don't see him getting the max. I don't see him getting the max. Why can't he get the sweetheart deal that Epstein got? He's not besties with El Presidente, maybe? I don't know. You tell me. You guys tell me in the chat. All right, guys. So this is it. I'm going to go bestie. Drop your questions below. If there's any follow, if I get a lot of follow-up questions on the same topic, I'll probably do a follow-up video. As soon as the judge makes his determination, and I get some better Wi-Fi, I'm going to update it and let you guys know that. But I miss you guys. There will be more recaps, but you guys have to let me know what you want me to talk about so I can do those videos. Thanks again. Sorry, it's me, your legal bestie, Attorney Simone. On my way back to CBC Congressional Back Office. You guys take care.